We are live from Maastricht in Holland. Welcome everyone as we head towards round 4 of the SimRacingOnline GTE Winter Series. Round 4 of this amazing calendar. As you can see, we have raced in Pittsburgh, Detroit and Mid-Ohio 2 weeks ago. A great race between the top runners being Tony Talvice, Lorenzo Dentella and Johnny Gutierrez. We head now in Maastricht. This is a pretty famous track in the sim racing scene because it was used for many races, including one that got pretty much dominated by Jimmy Broadbent back in the day. The 16th of October is today, so Maastricht is the race to go. Here we see Didier Coelho on the Porsche, amazing livery. We are seeing different designs every now and then as the calendar pops up again. So yeah, it's great to be here again, and what an amazing track we have today. A street circuit like no other. You can see very large straightaways, but also tricky corners and very tight sections too. Look at this. In 2 weeks' time, we're gonna head to Marina Bay in Singapore for yet another thriller, and then we will go to Italy for round 6 in Monza, the Temple of Speed. We will then go back to the US for the final 2 rounds, being in the Virginia International Raceway and Circuit of the Americas. What do you think, Nas?
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be amazing. The calendar's looking pretty spicy. However, though, Maastricht, I'm going to be a little bit honest. I have never been on this track before. Now, I know you said Jimmy Broadbent kind of commercialized it way before. I didn't see that, actually. I'm going to have to look it out after. But yeah, the track, to be honest, is different. I haven't tried it. So maybe if I tried it, I could change my opinion. But so far, maybe I need something today, and I'm sure it's going to happen. Some excitement, some action. That's going to change my mind. But another man, Ricardo, though, probably doesn't agree with me.
Hello everyone, Nas, no, I don't agree with you. It's a particular truck. I made a couple of laps.
46 just subscribed. Man.
And I made a couple of laps. As we see Coelho doing some Tokyo drift right there. That's a nice corner to do that because it's a 360, so nice job, I would say. It's a tricky track. Oh, another hit by Coelho, by the way. Very tricky track. It's not a usual layout. It's not a layout we are used to see, but I think this could be a good race. Most important is to be very sharp, very precise around the track, because absolutely this track doesn't forgive anything. So one mistake could mean the end of your race. So let's see how the drivers can manage with this.
Well, while you were talking, Ricardo, it looks like Didier Coelho collected and scrapped every bit of the track, and it's definitely gonna. He has to go back to the pit, and obviously, if you guys don't know, there's a rule that if you escape, your qualifying is over. If you click escape in the middle of the track, not in the pit, so that it means that your qualifying is over. So basically, you have to go back to the pit, and then you can click escape next to your garage and then go over, but you can't do it in the track. So what that does mean is, what does that mean though? I can't speak. What does that mean is that if you stop in the middle of the track, or actually if you stop in the pit lane and you have to go back again, you waste time. So you got to be careful to not touch the walls, because every minute counts. Now if you touch the walls, you got to go back, you got to warm up your tires, and that takes time. So you definitely got to stay away. Now this track, man, is something. It looks like you're going through it reminds me of a C1 loop of Gran Turismo, if I'm not mistaken. It's kind of close.
Yes, the special stage 6, the night race.
Yeah.
Yes, a great circuit. It used to be very tricky. I remember doing one of the what was it, the licensing test, and you had to do a hot lap of that particular circuit. This is actually trickier. There's less room for error here. The walls are just right there, no escape room whatsoever to just have a bit of error room, whatever. But look at Johnny Gutierrez nailing that apex there.
That was the edge of my seat while he was doing that.
one important thing, guys, is that it's a long track. As we see, 2:38. It's a huge amount of time for a truck. So it's a long truck,
Yeah, it's a very long
and
track.
and having the long truck means that you have to be more focused all around the lap, and especially during the quali, that gives you less shots. Because you maybe in 15 minutes, I think you have like three or two or three laps, not more, not more.
Yeah, that's actually true. You have less time in qualifying as well to set up a good lap, as we see now Johnny Gutierrez lining up for the final corner, tightest section of the track. You can just about fit one car in there. And Johnny Gutierrez will top the charts with a 2:37.5, great lap. He got Matt Horst, which is incredibly, because he was using an Aston Martin, I think, last time around. But Matt Horst, incredibly up to pace. Not
Johnny probably
disrespect to
gonna hit
Matt, but
there.
it's incredible how he improved compared to what we saw last time. Great to see Matt performing well here. He's now in third
And we
place.
speak Dentella for 5 milliseconds. Oh my god, that seems like Detroit.
Yeah, it's Detroit all over again. Dentella just about slower as Johnny Gutierrez. 2:37.538. That's marginal. It's still not going to be enough to, have your window on Johnny Gutierrez. Look at the Ferrari speeding around the tunnel here. Slight kink around the right, then back on the throttle gradually in this endless left-hander. We see Dentella having a bit of company here as Johnny Gutierrez is right in front of him. Makes room for him, rightfully so.
Now, I'll tell you what, guys, I am very happy today. Now, you might disagree with me, but I'll tell you why. We have Dentella, Gutierrez, and Lorenzo Bettini, and, come on, the man who's 18 points behind Tony Talviti, all in the same chassis. Tony Talviti is here. I just saw him. Did he just leave the session?
Yeah, he probably disconnected for a moment as we now... Sorry to interrupt you, Nas, but Dentella just stopped the charts in Sector 1 by a brief amount, 16 milliseconds, so it's very, very marginal indeed between him and the others.
Look at this particular 360 corner.
Yeah, it's something. Oh, Dentella had a bad second sector though. It's 2 seconds off now.
Yeah, I think he's low when he came across with Gutierrez, probably. I saw him slowing a lot, so...
It's difficult. It must be difficult to set up the cars for this track because you have incredibly long straights, but then you also have endless sweeping corners.
Well, something I can't understand and wrap my head around is in the top 3 best laps done by drivers in the server is by Gutierrez, which is 2 minute 36.8. Now the fastest lap we have is at 37.5. Now that's almost 7/10 or 8/10 slower than the fastest we have. So I wonder what Gutierrez is holding back or something, or maybe the track temperature.
Last time around, both Dentella and Gutierrez and Tony Taldice, who rejoined the session by the way, they kept their best effort for the very last lap as Thomas also hits the wall hard.
Hit there.
Yeah, the car is destroyed. Look at that. It has no steering whatsoever. I think that's going to be the end of his time lap, as he also has a car behind him that it's probably on a flying lap as well. Yeah, there we see Holzel jumping to the pits.
I think that Tony is having some connection troubles because it's the second or third time I see him like came in the session and then go away again. I hope he can make it for the race.
Sorry to interrupt you guys. Bettini set the fastest lap of the session in Sector 2.
Yeah, it's looking purple. Like
Bettini, who was the sensation of round 1 in Pittsburgh, then disappeared for really an unknown reason. He's back, and it's great to have him here. I want to see him battle with the top 3 today.
Look how close to the wall he is. It's almost like he's hugging it. He's putting everything and using every bit of the track, so he's definitely going all out.
End of the lap coming up. Last 2 corners.
Look at him going all to that bit of the close
Yeah,
using
the
the
Porsche
APAC.
looks to be working pretty well, but
look at this section.
Can you explain to me, Lorenzo, how are you going to pass someone to that section? It looks impossible.
yeah, you cannot. You have to time it right. I think. Oh, then Bettini just misses out. I think he had a mistake in the very last corner. It was too much on the inside on entry, and he had to back off of it slightly. But great lap by Bettini. It's just barely 0.5 of a second slower than Dentella and Gutierrez.
Yeah,
So that's a good place to start.
All the top 4. He's the only one who improved, and all the top 4 are within half a second. So I believe.
No, I think he's the only car on the track on a time lap.
We have
Let's follow him by the onboard.
We have car number 11 and 4, and that's Barrett Erickson and Lorenzo
There
Bettini.
we see, look at the helmet cam from Lorenzo Bettini going around Maastricht. Slight kink on the right. You have to be very precise on the braking, otherwise the car will snap. Do not touch the wall by any chance.
He's still pushing because he has a green sector for what I see.
Yeah, that's a
personal best.
He's so smooth. Hopefully I don't jinx it for him. Oh, I just did.
Oh, slight counter steer here, but the Porsche looks to be working pretty good.
Man, this track should pump your blood up because you just don't want to touch the wall, but you want to stay close as well. Think about it. He's going fast. I think he's touching 280, 260. He's going about to touch 271. That's so quick. I bet the split stream is going to be
very hard on the brakes as the Porsche just makes the corner. Look at that.
Ooh.
That's what I think that's going to cost him.
The wall, actually.
He did.
I think he got away with it, though.
Yeah. Hope so.
Yeah, there's a purple in the sector 2. What a lap.
Now, if you say
118
I think it's right now
milliseconds faster.
And right now I think he's driving for the pole because he's got 104 down and on the first sector, and now he's up on 0.118. So I think it's in front of Dentella's time right now.
Man, the way he turned his steering wheel and went flat there, trusting his car, that's still good. That's still good. I believe. Yeah, go ahead, Rico.
It's very interesting to see how less steer is using. He's not using very lot the steering wheel. Look, minimum usage. So that means
the flag coming up.
Let's see the time.
Yeah, he's about to cross it.
I think it is.
Oh, just misses out. It's P3. Guys, we have the top 3 people fucked up in less than 1/10 of a second.
Oh my.
And we have Tony on the back because Tony seems to be back on the track. So I think that is going to be the one who wants to come back.
And guys, don't forget about Matt Horst. He's the only car which is in contention right now with the top 3. Is 348 milliseconds slower than Dentella, but that's not a huge amount on nearly a 3-minute track. I mean, that's marginal if you think about it. I mean, you have to do some proportion. This 2 minutes and 37 is pretty much what Spa would be with 1 extra sector, and being 0.3 off at Spa is not bad, let alone here at Maastricht.
Well, I was just want to say though, if anybody says Lorenzo was wall riding, you're getting banned. Literally.
No.
That was not wall riding. That was just he just touched it. Actually, it might have hindered his lap.
I'm just rewatching Bettini's POV, and I noticed he had a bad counter steer in the third to last corner. He had to correct the car a little bit, and that probably put him slightly off the pace, or maybe it was the contact with the wall right before that kind of hindered his chances at the pole position. I mean, if you think about the lap that we just saw, with a couple of hiccups along the way, and he was still less than 1/10 of the best time. The guys we are watching right now, being Dear Coelho on the white Porsche and Brown on the famous green and black Aston Martin are the guys who are fighting for P5 and P6 respectively, and they are pretty much best of
Nice.
the rest for now because the top three and the top four, I should say, are pretty much together. I would say Brown and Coelho, however, are from the top four, but they are close together between the two of them. So these are ones to watch, guys.
You want to know something, Lorenzo?
Absolutely.
Didier Coelho on Joe Brown, both of them have 18 points in the championship.
That's a direct battle then.
It is. And they both
Great.
did, Joe Brown did 2 events and Didier Coelho did 3, but somehow both have the same points. That's
Nas, can you go through the classification for us just to let the viewers know about what's going on?
absolutely. We have just give us a second, guys. Matteo Dentella, first position, followed by Gutierrez, number 2, and Lorenzo Bettini, 3, and Matt Horst, 4, all within half a second. And we have Joe Brown, number 5, Didier Coelho in P6, and Thomas Hossel, P7. Good to see him back, and Ed Jones in P8. As we go back to P9, we have Rob Milliken, P10 in the yellow Ferrari, Michael Labelle, Barry Erickson, missed out top 10, and P11 we have Gilles De Silva in P12, Stephen Wenham P13, and Tony Talviti P14. We're missing John VD Guest. He has some family stuff to take care of, so he can't be with us today. And yeah, what a qualifying, what a track. It's not the track you usually see, or I usually see, or
And
now.
Nas, sorry to interrupt you, but look at that livery.
Yeah. That can be the Silva, right?
This has to be the Silva.
It can be, right? If it's the Silva, then it is the Silva.
Yeah, I told you so.
Oh
Look
my
at that for a
lord!
livery. That's a great livery, actually.
Yeah, it's.
Good job.
I think the
Amazing.
Silva's new name is De Silva Da Vinci. Oh my god! Look at it.
Oh
That's
my God.
amazing.
Yeah, he has the ETA logo on the back. Oh, thank you, man. That's a great shout out.
It's like a dragon.
Yeah, it looks like some psychedelic octopus or something.
Look at it, beautiful.
Yeah, Pavone. It's a. How's it called in English? The Pavone. Oh my God.
Guys,
Don't
is it an
remember.
animal? Are you talking about an animal?
Yeah,
The peacock. It's a
Well,
peacock.
yeah, the
looks like
peacock,
a peacock.
exactly.
It does.
Well, that wins the contest for livery of the race, for sure.
So, guys, I think that we all agree that Gil da Silva may not be the fastest driver on the track, but he surely is the most artistic one. So,
Yes.
absolutely great job on that livery.
I think the Silva
And-
needs to be in the most wanted blacklist for sure. But that would be
Absolutely. From what I know, guys, he's even making some liveries for some other guys on the track. If I'm not.
Yes, I'm pretty sure he did livery for John Villegas and Johnny Gutierrez. Although Johnny Gutierrez's livery was inspired by Barrett Erickson, I think. But it's great to see. It's great to see these drivers go at it close in the race, but then outside they are really friends and all united together in what is a very solid and chill community. And if you want to be part of the community, guys, go check SimRacingOnline.co.uk. On the internet, you will find one of the best portals for sim racing in general, because they do not race only on R Factor 2, they also race on Assetto Corsa, even Project Cars sometimes, so they have plenty of stuff going on. And yeah, check them out.
And look at it's a very peculiar truck. It's strange. It's a strange truck.
It's a street circuit, so no surprise really. Oh, as we see one of the Aston Martin, I think that's Stephen Wenham just finding the limits of the road.
Am I seeing cranes next to the track?
That's actually the suburban train of Maastricht.
Oh.
That really exists.
Oh my god! This track looks almost like a how do you call that, X cross or whatever. It's like where it's so tiny and you just have to be precise, and your apex doesn't matter. All that matters is if you have guts or not. How are you gonna pass? It looks like you have 2 lanes. You
Look
almost
at this
need
shot.
traffic.
Yeah,
Go
looking
ahead.
from this view, you absolutely don't have the space to be 2 cars right there.
Now you have
No,
to.
that-
I think you have to time it
What if
in
you
the
just
right
park?
spots.
What if you just park in the middle? What are you gonna do?
I think if you take your car and you try to cover the middle section, you should be all right. Although, if the guy behind you really is one, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw Johnny Gutierrez trying his best to find, another line to pass you. Because look at this, it switches very quickly from a large section to a very tiny part of the track. So you have to time it, I would say. Yeah, look at here. You have the space for almost 3 cars, but then right after, this is the last section. So we're heading up towards the last 2 corners. Look at this.
absolutely.
Here is still acceptable. Still acceptable. Look at this now. Yeah, Wenham goes into the pits, but if he would have gone further, you would have seen that the section that connects the front straightaway and the pit lane entrance is just about large to fit 1 car. So they will have to follow each other for most of the lap, I think, then find the right spots. And I'm pretty sure this is the first time that these drivers go around Maastricht. And I'm very curious about who's going to take the most risks in terms of overtaking. I'm pretty sure it has to be Talvitie because he's one of the fastest guys on the track and he starts from last place. So
I'll tell you this, Laura. Probably the best point to make an overtake is the very first corner. You'll see in a second, but look at how much space you have
slow
right there.
right-hander downhill section, by the way.
Here you have a lot of space to move. Look at this. Look how much space you have.
Yeah, you have a highway for you.
Absolutely. And probably the break at the end is everyone's best chance because from the very tight section we saw before to this, it's all flat out. So probably we are going to see the most overtakes right there because right here and in the back part of the truck you absolutely don't have space. You have to be both crazy or a bit sadistic to do that.
Sorry to interrupt you, Ricardo, but we have a problem with Bettini, I think.
Oh no.
Where is Bettini?
He's
how did he fall back to P14?
He can recover.
No, I think it's a problem for no, it's third. I think it's a problem for the overlay.
If he spun, no, he's not.
Oh, maybe that's that's true. No, now we have the right order. That Bettini is now 3rd place, so maybe it was just a bug or something.
I just had a crazy idea, guys. Imagine somebody who never done sim racing went on a track, this particular track, and a traffic light came on. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna stop or are you gonna keep going?
I think you would stop and wonder for about 10 seconds what's going on, but then of course you would realize.
It gets like raged by 6 people behind you crashing.
That's most important. I think that guy will ask why the hell there's a headlight into a truck inside the truck. A working headlight in a truck.
I mean,
traffic light. Sorry.
Oh well, it's technically a city, so imagine if they just forgot to turn it off.
I was just wondering, guys, watching from Dontella's POV, it's hard to judge how wide your car is compared to the track because there's a tiny difference. it's gonna be tricky for these drivers to judge where to move to cover the line and where to just stay stationary, because you know for a fact that the track is not wide enough.
Yeah, you just
And
don't want
that
to
could
get
actually
damaged.
cost you dearly, because we have, of course, full damage here. And if you just go offline for a second, you're into the wall. There's absolutely no space for error whatsoever. I'm pretty. I can't wait for the start, guys, because I think we're gonna see sparks right from the start.
All right, I'll tell you this. You're right. It's from the view we are having, it's probably difficult to judge your the wide of your car, but I think that most of the guys may have a ultra wide screen or triple screen that can give them more the perception of where the car is and how much wide is the car. So I or at least I hope they have for this track. Otherwise, it's gonna be
Surely,
difficult.
surely they have it, Ricardo. I believe all of them has triple screen. But I'll tell you what, though, Ricardo, when we see 3 wide going in the middle of the highway, now that's gonna
Oh,
be.
guys, last corner coming up. The field is bunching up. Look at this.
Look,
There's no space for two cars. This is what I was about. This is what I was saying
Yeah,
earlier.
traffic.
Dentella will have a very good chance, because Johnny will have to disengage the pit limiter and line up just by the side of him. It's gonna create some mayhem at the start.
Well, the race
We're
starts
still with pit
long.
limiter. We're about to cross the line
As soon as he crosses,
right
and
now, I think.
not yet.
We cannot see.
Yeah, he did. There we
Dentella
go.
releases the pit limiter and gets a great jump when Johnny Gutierrez will have to. Johnny will have to defend from Bettini, which is already looking for an overtaking chance. A bit of a 3 wide going back there. Bettini
look at the
take
field
the
splitting out.
Oh my lord! Oh, look at
Joe
Jones
Brown
going
on the
there.
move. Joe Brown on the move on Matt Horst. Then Coelho on Holsel as well.
Oh, hopefully
Yeah,
he's
Joe
fine.
Brown has made the move stick. It's now P4. Great start by the Aston Martin driver.
Beautiful stuff by Brown. Look at him line up. I think that's Coelho, if I'm not mistaken. Look at him going out through the tunnel. It's just look at the speed though when they pass through the
Yeah, they
tunnel.
are flat out 270 something kilometers per hour. And look at this corner. You have to time the braking just right, otherwise the car would is disbalanced and will snap on you. So it's Dentella leading them into the first lap, followed by Johnny Gutierrez and Lorenzo Bettini in P3. Then we have Joe Brown in P4, Matt Horst, Didier Coelho, and Holso. Then Jones, Labelle, and Rob Millikan in P10. And look at Talvite already making up places.
Yeah,
We're starting from P12, and he was already over our favorite livery man, Gilles da Silva. Look at Tony already on the move.
My man, look at him. No field going absolutely.
They're side by side. They're still side by side. We cannot see. Oh, and
Yeah,
Tony
look at
bullies him
speed.
completely.
The same car, so probably different aerodynamic setup for Tony because he just swallowed the other Porsche.
There's Labelle. They're having a hard time turning that Ferrari. It's so tough to get this car to rotate the proper way around this endless 360 corner. Labelle now under pressure from Tony Talvite. Look at this for a shot.
I think you still get away with it if you make a mistake there. But damn, what a shot, Lorenzo. You're right. Look at him. He's going for his splits.
Tony, absolutely no fear. Labelle did his best to cover up the outside of the track. He's going back. Maybe not. He backs off a bit. Was too far back to. Yeah. Tony Talvite on the move.
Oh my God.
Great to watch.
Tony on the street seems to have like one more gear, or at least the DRS, because it's overtaking people like they are completely stopped on the track.
It's just momentum, Ricardo. He carries a lot of momentum. Look at that.
Yeah, look at the exit speed.
There's no way that
he has nowhere to pass, so you just have to sell. That's what I told you about Lorenzo before. Like, what are you gonna do there? There's nothing you could do, and
I think Tony will get the move stick around turn 1 though. Ferrari has decent speed, I'll tell you that.
Now, if you were in the fire, you'd be asking for battery, but unluckily,
Bart Ericsson is the first driver to pit, surely for damage. Oh, and Jones locks up.
He actually made it stick. Look at this.
Yeah, and Tony Talvice gains yet another place.
Oh, but it's not over.
But Jones has decent speed. I'll tell you that the Ferrari looks to be working just as good as the Porsche. Ed Jones able to just about put the Ferrari side by side. Look at that.
Look at that. They still side by side. I think they're going to be side by side for the whole tunnel.
Let's see which one is. Jones. Yeah.
Jones had to back off because otherwise he would have gone into the wall. Oh, and guys, away from the action, Bettini has overtaken Gutierrez.
Yeah, that's we missed that.
That seemed like a mistake from Gutierrez because it's 2 seconds behind Bettini right now. I think that was.
Yeah, but
this
I
is the
still want
replay.
this shot again. Look at him, side by side through the whole tunnel.
Oh, Johnny Gutierrez has no top speed whatsoever.
Oh, that's a problem. Look at the steering wheel.
Yeah, that's damage.
I don't think it's damage. It's just
no, I don't know.
Oh, it's just a replay then.
Yes, it's not damage.
Oh no, guys, we lost Thomas also. Where is Thomas also? He's now P14. What happened to him?
Oh my God!
I told you I
what
saw
happened?
car upside. I did. I think if the director can go to back to.
Oh my God! What happened there? We have a car outside of the track and no code 80 whatsoever. We didn't get any yellow flag.
Lorenzo, you might think I'm lying, but I actually saw like a snip of it when. Look at that!
Oh,
let it play.
Oh, he hit the wall on the inside, and then the car snapped completely. Big impact.
Tony Talvici was coming right behind him. Look at it. But then somehow, no, actually,
no, they had to take evasive action. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So is he still stuck there?
Also, no, he's out of the race. He's
God.
out of the race. Incredible stuff. But look at Dustin Brown in P3. What is happening to Gutierrez? Gutierrez in the pit lane. Trauma in the first lap at Maastricht. Guys, what did I tell you?
So this is a plot twist, guys. Incredible plot twist at the second lap.
Guys, I think you're missing something. This is good for Tony Talvici in terms of the championship. If he's already ahead of Gutierrez, and Gutierrez is almost outside of the points, and that actually will put Tony Talvici all the way ahead, I believe. Actually, it will put him P2. Sorry about that. He'll still be 22 points behind, but still good thing for Tony in terms of the championship.
Yes, I think Gutierrez is also gonna have to pit twice. That's a major blow to his strategy.
Now,
probably the killing blow to his strategy right now.
Many people pitting. We have Rob Milliken and Michael Labelle in the pits as well.
Yeah, probably all for damage. Surely or everyone for damage.
Well, come on, guys. When you have walls at all time next to you, obviously you're gonna get a lot of damage. Now that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, guys, sorry to Flex Tape.
And Force is having some troubles. Despite his great qualifying right now, he's not having the pace to catch on Joe Brown and to get away from Coelho. A bit strange.
In a comfort zone, I would say. It's 1 second and 2/10, so it's fine, I would say. The Porsche does not seem like it's looking. I mean, the Aston Martin looks to be working better right now, but it's a Porsche. The last 3 races were won by a Porsche, so I would not count Matt Horst off of the equation yet. Joe Brown, of course, surprise of the day, I must say, the Aston Martin. Great to see him battling for the podium places finally in this series.
Now, Matt Horst's car livery is giving me Need for Speed Carbon vibes. Look at it. It's darky, purple. It's beautiful.
Two great liveries here, Joe Brown and Matt Horst. Look at that.
They touched the wall. Joe touched the wall, didn't he? And penalty for Labelle.
Penalty for Michael Labelle, probably speeding in the pit lane. That's going to be a drive-through. Oh, for a moment I thought Matt Horse was gonna go into the pit lane. He was just lining up for a good exit outside the last corner. Look at Tony Talvicia now, pounding towards Didier Coelho. The two Porsche drivers now will go at it. I also think Tony has way too much speed for Coelho to just do something about it. And I also think that Coelho should probably concentrate on Matt Horst and Joe Brown rather than Tony Talvicia.
Now, if Joe Brown actually keeps up the pace, he actually been the luckiest so far. In Mid-Ohio, he made up 5 places all the way to P4. So I think this is his redemption. I believe if you remember, Lorenzo, maybe he was P3 and lost it, I think, in the middle. So this is maybe his redemption to get back that P3 he deserved in Mid-Ohio.
I hope so, because Coelho is a very, very, I would say, he has a lot of merit in the races. He has a great racing driver. Maybe not qualification-wise, he has to improve still, but on race pace, he is one to watch always. And Tony Talvicia is having a hard time actually finding the right spot.
Guys, looking for from the tire section we have, Joe Brown and Matteo Dentella are the only one who got 2 different tire options, because they have the soft on the back and the middle on the front. The mediums on the front, sorry. They are the only cars that made this choice.
Now that sounds like a combination.
Yeah, we got Clean on the mediums, Horst on the mediums, Coelho on the mediums too. Everyone's on the mediums.
Now, I was watching the timelines, guys, and I see that Dentella, maybe that's related to the tire choice that Ricardo just mentioned. Dentella is not very, very fast. It's not just pulling away, I should say, from the rest of the field. Bettini is the second fastest car, the fastest car being Tony Talvicia. We are watching him right now. But Bettini, Brown, and Horst are all faster than Dentella at the moment. As Coelho slightly hits the wall, that's going to give Tony a great run.
God. That is it. Ladies and gentlemen, I think Tony Talvicia might get him in the next couple corners, because collecting damage bits and bits piles up and makes your car slower slightly and slightly as you go further in the race. As we see Dentella right now, and Bettini within a second fighting for the lead.
Yeah, I told you, Dentella was not pulling away from him. He was actually losing time. And we are watching it right now. Lorenzo Bettini just hounding on the Italian Ferrari for the lead.
But if you go in terms of best lap, Bettini still has the fastest lap of 2:30. Dentella has the best lap of 2:38. So in terms of pure pace, Dentella still has the top hand or the upper hand. But
look at Matt Horst, guys. He's all around Joe Brown.
I think the split stream will do enough to keep him behind, but he has to do more if he wants to get that lead.
Away from the battle for the lead, we have Horst all over Joe Brown for P3 and P4 respectively. Look at the Porsche just closing on the Aston Martin under braking. And I mean, give it up for Gilles da Silva, guys, because he's P8 right now and fighting with none other than Stephen Wenham.
He's fighting for points.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at him. I think he's about to make a move.
Stefan trying his best to find an opening, but Gilles da Silva does not fear anybody, I'll tell you that. He's just keeping his cool. Look at the Ferrari closing the lines and reacting to Stefan.
It's faster. I mean, with the split stream, and he still couldn't make up, or maybe he just lifted. I don't know, but it seems to me like the Ferrari is fast as we see a blue Porsche
that's Horst
going almost side by side, but it looks like he decided to be the smart man and wait for another shot.
Yeah, Joe Brown's doing a great job on the defense.
Yeah.
A lot of battles are going on now.
Tony Talvicia still hasn't found a way around Didier Coelho.
This is not good for Tony. He has to get past as soon as possible.
Oh, look at Coelho closing the door. Very roughly there.
Great piece of driving there by Coelho. Just absolute
I think he just
textbook defense.
This might be it.
Tony has the momentum. Yeah, he has the momentum right now.
Just throw it there, let it
I
stick.
think Coelho realized and just lifted. I think Coelho could have defended a little bit more there, but good to see Telvitia making progress. He now has a good. I mean, he has a good amount of gap to close now. He has 4.2 seconds. Oh, and he hit the wall.
Big hit.
Don't Tony hit the wall.
I literally looked off screen and I hear that. Hopefully it wasn't a big hit. Was it a big hit? Because I didn't see it.
It was. It was sort of a big hit. I wouldn't say it was that like terminal damage, but I'm pretty sure Tony is gonna feel that in his driving.
Oh no. Come on, Tony. This is his redemption arc.
Matt Horst then still 5/10 of a second from Joe Brown. And these two are going at it.
It looks like the tunnel is the best place to pass people so far.
Guys, that's not quite the start that Horst wanted, right? Because he was on the same pace of the top guys, but he found himself stuck behind Joe Brown, which has done a great job on the start and is doing right now a great job on defending on him.
Yeah, absolutely great start by the Aston Martin driver. He gained the third place immediately in turn 1. He launched up the inside of Matt Horst and just went for it, and that's kudos to Joe Brown. But now look at the defense that the Aston Martin has on the Porsche.
Well, Tony Talviti is getting closer and closer to Matt Horst, so that's already P4. Now keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, Tony Talviti started all the way from the back. He's now almost fighting for P4 and soon to be for P3 with Joe Brown, if not for the win. Because we have about an hour and 12 minutes.
If Brown keeps his cool and is able to hold Matt Horst behind him, we're shortly going to have a 3-way battle between Brown, Horst, and Talvitia.
I think they should work together if they want to hold back Tony.
I mean, Horst and Brown are not losing that much time in their battle because Horst is being smart and he's not going to dive bomb up the inside like a madman. And Brown is not defending like sort of the 2016 version of Max Verstappen, if you know what I mean. So these two are kind of working together, I would say.
Yeah, because first of all, you'd be saving fuel if you're smart about it. And second of all, you have a split stream and they could even swap and still make a huge lead if they want. Or at least stay or minimize the damage of losing time when Tony Talviti is literally hunting you from behind. And man, oh man, Tony Talviti is killing it right now. Putting best sectors over and over and getting closer and closer to Matt Horst. Eventually fighting the podium. Wow.
So luckily, Tony seems to not have a big damage on the car.
Well,
but guys, sorry, I was looking to Brown and Horst, and it seems that Brown has an incredible top speed because he's constantly gaining on the straights, and with a car that close, as we speak, look at that. Horst is completely.
I mean,
there's no space between Horst and Brown, but Brown keeps getting gap on the straights.
Well, his top end is 282.4 kilometers for Joe Brown. So that's definitely a very high top speed, but they're all running Le Mans power package, which gives you about 10 kilometer extra boost, or extra speed. Technically, it's not a boost. It's just less drag going on through the wind. That's a very
but probably Brown has even lowered much more his wing.
Well, Matt Horst is going slower for sure, but not as slow because he did the same speed in a couple laps as Joe Brown, but he should do more technically. So you're actually right, Ricardo, because if he's doing, maybe the car just stops out at 282. I don't know.
No, I think that, but looking at the speed during the corners, it seems. Look at this. In the most drive part, Horst is able to close his gap, but then back on the straight, he can't close the gap with his slipstream. So Joe Brown has an amazing top speed. Probably he worked to have a great top speed and to sacrifice a bit the corners. which is not a bad idea on this track, because if you can get the position with the big top speed, it's going to be difficult to overtake you.
Well, imagine, and I hope not, if a crash happened and it, like, two cars and they close the track and they don't click escape at the right time. That's going to be very dangerous. I just thought
Yeah,
about
that's gonna be a mayhem factor. That's for sure.
it. Reminds me of
Now,
Macau.
I think Horst now realizes that there's a white and blue Porsche becoming bigger and bigger in his rearview mirror, and he's now really attacking the Aston Martin. He's got a great run right here.
Yeah, we see
Aston
Tony
Martin
right
covers
behind
up the
there.
inside. There's no space here whatsoever. He's gonna wait for turn one, I suppose.
Tony's already in the frame, so
Yeah, I told you. The dark blue Porsche of Matt Horst is eager to pass.
I
I
think
think he now has a good chance.
Yeah, I think he has.
Oh, and the Aston Martin closing the line. Look at that for defense. Side by side now, not quite. That was a great defensive move by the Aston Martin
Yeah.
driver.
And
I
this
can
is
tell
only
you-
helping Tony right now.
I can tell you probably what's going on right here, if you excuse me, Ricardo. I think Matt Horst and Joe Brown know eventually that Tony's going to get past, so they want to take as much advantage as possible before Tony gets close and probably spreads this split stream, and eventually they have to settle with what they have. So the man who at the lead before Tony eventually will pass them. I mean, let's be real. It's going to be actually a very it could determine the race. In fact, if they both keep on at the same pace. I mean,
Yeah,
assuming
because as we speak, Dentella has picked up the pace and he got the fastest lap. He got 2:38.4, if I saw the right time.
well, those are tires kicking in, I believe. He's the one with the
Bettini
medium.
not able to keep the gap under 2 seconds right now. Ferrari looks to be the car to beat.
Well, they both know they have the same pace. So if a guy in front of you is running slightly faster, you know he's pushing because you know he has the same pace as you. So what else he could be doing? I mean, think about it. So you don't want to fall for it. If he's pushing, let him push because eventually his tires will die. But I think, as Ricardo mentioned, Matthew is in mediums. So,
Yeah, I got.
Medium and soft. Bettini has all mediums.
So maybe Matthew actually needs to push. So Lorenzo is just sitting there, been chilling, waiting for his moment. And here comes Tony.
Look at this. Tony has joined the chat. I'm pretty sure he's gonna make a point for it.
Well, it was hard to pass one car. Now, how about two?
I'm curious about Tony here because Horst has not been able to get past the Aston Martin. He was very close twice, but never really, made the move stick.
It's like a train, so he eventually has to kind of push somebody out of the way and then somehow make it stick with the other, because the other one will also stay behind him and can actually pass him again if he's not careful. But it's Tony we're talking right now. It's Tony time, I guess. Let's look at him already. I think he precisely there slowed down because he knows there's nowhere to pass, so he just wanted to use as much split stream to get as close as possible and maybe wait for a chance. I think Matt Horst and Joe Brown needs to start thinking very tactically right now and not rush for a move. That could, I mean, look at him. They're already doing
Look at the Porsche though.
I
Look
think
at the Horst now.
inside line now.
the opposite of what I
Yeah,
said.
Yeah,
Horst
great move by
makes the move
Horst.
stick, and
Finally.
that's critical for the race.
Yeah, Joe Brown lost the position, by the way. Now the Aston Martin
That's
is
critical.
behind. Look, he slowed down. Did he? Oh, that's the pedal issue probably. Because I can remind you that
He's not. Tony is not full throttle.
Oh, please.
No, I think he's back on the pace. Yeah, he's. Oh, by the way, look at the front. Look at Joe Brown.
Yeah, I mean, Tony's watching the same view we're watching right now, and it's Brown. Definitely not gonna let that slip away, because Matt Horst just passed him right before that on the corner before.
Let me tell you, Matt Horst timed the move perfectly. He was on the right spot, and he got a great exit from turn one as well, and that pretty much cut Joe Brown out. So great move by Horst.
Yeah,
I would say underestimated driver. He is a great driver, Matt Horst.
Yeah, Probably, you know what? Probably soft tires uh, from the Aston are starting to have a bit of degradation, but the
Yeah,
medium
you can
tires
see.
on the Porsche have more traction right now. So that was what happened. Look at this. Look at how is
You could actually
struggling
see
Joe
Joe
Brown.
Brown locking up the tires as they headed towards the 360 corner. As we have Gil da Silva pitting from P8. It was P8 and on a great pace. He pits probably for damage because that's still early to pit. Hopefully he can fight back.
Well, look at him.
It's strange to see Johnny on eighth position, 67 seconds away from Matt Jones. It's a bit strange. It is a bit strange to see Johnny completely out of the race.
I think Brown and Horst were to be very thankful to the issue or the pedals of Tony Talviti because it eventually saved them. But Joe Brown is falling off slowly but not surely.
Still a slight contact with the wall for Tony.
You know, sometimes, Lorenzo, I see things I wish I didn't see, and those are one of them. That's damage Tony does not want to see and does not want to happen. But I
Yeah,
believe,
look, he's unable to catch the Aston Martin on the straight.
hopefully, his pedal issue is sorted out by now.
Brakes glowing red already on the Porsche. We saw that from Dantella's Ferrari also in lap 1. And look at the Porsche now trying his best, but the Aston Martin just covering up in the right places.
He can bump draft him and then eventually use him to pass, safely.
The Aston Martin smartly covers up the inside.
I think he should cover.
It's gonna have advantage now for the next corner.
Oh, there we go. It's
Tony
kicking in
backed
again.
off.
That's
Yeah,
not
Tony
backing
backed
off.
off.
That's pedal issue, brother. Probably.
No, I think Tony backed off. He was about to overtake him, but Joe Brown closed the gap very aggressively indeed.
Could be
with a very good defense, but Tony, I think, was smart enough to back off of it.
I hope that's the case. I really hope so. I mean, as you can see, we're checking his pedals, and it looks like he's full throttle, so we're good. We're good, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're watching on
quietly, Johnny Gutierrez is fighting back up the order. He was P11 a couple minutes ago. He's now P8.
Yeah, we absolutely forgot about Gutierrez, who lost a lot of places. I believe due to damage, and he had to pit. And now
he had a very heavy steering damage in the first lap and had to pit for repairs. I mean, disastrous for his championship ambitions,
Absolutely.
but we are only halfway into the season, so plenty of races to go.
Yeah, he's at the top, but still halfway there.
Guys, so Dantella is creating a void behind him because he gets another 1.5 seconds on Bettini. Is 4 seconds ahead right now. Amazing driving by Dantella. Seems to be the only one who made the Ferrari work better than the Porsches.
Something is weird about Tony. Look at him. Sorry, guys, I had to go through, but
Tony doesn't look like he's pushing too much. It doesn't look like he's on the edge still. He's taking his time, and that's probably the right decision. But because if there's a track where you can just play it safe, it's one of these unpredictable straight circuits. But on the other hand, he has Dantella and Bettini running 1 and 2 at the moment. He would need Bettini to do something about Dantella for the championship classification, but Bettini does not seem like he has the pace right now to match Lorenzo. Yes, to match Matteo, sorry.
Well, Gutierrez is now back in the points as we said earlier. Tony Talviti somehow having issues. Not sure whether damage is doing something because just a second ago it looked like he had an ungodly pace compared to Brown and Matt Horst, and somehow he's just stuck now behind Joe Brown for some reason, which we cannot seem to understand precisely. We have never spoke to Tony before. We would hope to do so one day, but we never know. Besides him typing in the chat that's his pedal's issue. Other than that, we don't get more of his insights on what's going on in the race, in the middle of the race. His thoughts, maybe, as we see him lining up, sitting behind in the split stream, when maybe for a move, but it maybe doesn't have enough top speed. Is definitely in the right position, but way so far behind. They turn again and again, waiting for that shot. Now, the battle for the lead, Dentella and Lorenzo Battilli, looks like what Ricardo said, the thing of creating a gap for 4 seconds. I believe either Lorenzo, it's just he doesn't care right now. He knows it's 58 minutes to go. You can see that on his HUD, so he knows. He just needs to chill and drive. There is a pit stop, so 4 seconds, you can literally lose more than that in just one pit stop. Race is still on, as we see Tony's also again lining up his car. Still can't get it moved. I mean, look at that. That's an out of control.
Yeah, that's a hell of a control. He was oversteering like crazy, and he did a great job at keeping the car on the road. That's a dangerous thing to happen in this kind of circuit.
I'll tell you what though, Lorenzo, when that happens to you and you catch it so easily, it just makes you feel so much in control. Because when the car wants to lose control and you control it, you are in control. And right now, Tony Talviti is like a bat out of hell, but I believe there is an issue going on. That's not normal.
I think that mistake actually cost him the chance of making the move into turn one this time, because he's way more than 1 second behind Joe Brown. I'm pretty sure he's going to catch back to Joe, but you cannot afford to lose this amount of time, especially considering we are closing on the pit window. So this is the critical stage.
100%. As we see in SOS, definitely not going to help you if you crash those walls into those walls. As we see, the tunnel shots are crazy. As the camera shakes due to the sheer speed of the car. So they're going all the way up in the bridge, going downhill. Brown built himself a beautiful 4 second ahead. Beautiful gap and lead. That's going to save him a little bit when Tony, if he makes the pass. Now, as we see the crowd enjoying this.
What a great race by Matt Horst so far. He's proving to be, up to the task of being a top 3 driver. I mean, of course, you can argue all the time you want about the fact that Johnny Gutierrez is not in the equation today because he had damage from lap 1, but you still have to drive and still be up to speed to run in P3, and behind none other than Dentella, who showed who he is in fashion last race. So it's for me right now, MVP is Matt Horst. I would say almost even with Joe Brown.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, considering the start and considering how things were for him with Tony and everything, they're the 2 guys that really stepped up their game today. A bit of a shame for Johnny Gutierrez, though. I was expecting him to be right there with Tony and the other guys.
They'll put him out of the equation. He's put in best sectors, personal
yeah,
best.
But he has to pit again, so he's actually on the same strategy than the guys in front, except he has made 1 extra pit.
He's also a minute behind Ed Jones. So, I mean, he has 55 minutes. So, the best I believe he can do is probably stay in P8 or lose a
look
position.
at that, Tony in the pit lane.
Oh,
What
I thought he
happened to
was
Tony?
slowing down.
Maybe that's strategy, though. We were close to halfway through.
I'm gonna cross my fingers. I'm gonna cross my fingers.
I don't think it's strategy, Laura. It's a bit too early to pit. I hope it doesn't have that much.
I don't want to believe
I
you.
hope it. I don't know, guys. It's a bit too. It's a bit too early to get the pits
I mean,
done.
he's hitting. Oh, there you go. He's changing his tires. Oh, thank Lord.
I don't know,
Uh,
honest.
I don't want to see Tony out one more time.
It looks like it's a long stop.
Well, he's changing tires, putting fuel, and apparently he's going for a big, long stint.
Some other guys are pitting too. Look at this.
Yeah, I think
That's gonna cost Tony some time because he
he
now
can
has
go
to
around
back
it.
up.
He can go around it. He can just go to the right, and I mean that's legal, right?
I think so, but
Yeah. So just and there you go. The championship. Tony Talviti now is 27 points, and we go back to the race.
no, those are not the right numbers. By the way, we have many differences in the classification right now. But let's focus on this because Tony will have to do something about the fact that he has a Porsche in front of him, and they are on collision route. Tony looks like it's gonna be a long stop.
I mean, Coelho looks like
Yeah,
somebody.
look at that. He's backing up
He could have
and
just
goes around the
straight.
Porsche on the left.
I think that probably wasn't the ideal way to get out. He just went to the right and just. I mean, the way Coelho pit stop looks like somebody who forgot to pay his parking ticket. I mean, he could have just like positioned his car way back because you should position your car actually facing the way out, not the way in. Am I mistaken?
No, you're right. I'm not sure what happened there to Coelho. It looks like it's a long top for him as well. But Helvetia then, strategy is complete. He's gonna have to do 52 minutes straight without hitting again. Hopefully. I wonder how Horse will react to this. Yeah, as we speak,
He's
Horse
pitting.
into the pit lane. I called it.
Do you think Tony spent a lot of time in the pit?
I think Horse will spend less time than Tony because Tony also had the slight damage
Or maybe he just didn't fix it?
from an early stage of the race. So maybe Horse will not fix damage and maybe gain a couple seconds. I don't see the gap changing that much between Horse and Talvice, but let's see what happens.
And Dentella putting the I think that could be close to the fastest first sector, 44.9. He's definitely hammering it. I think probably Dentella is preparing for a pit, so that's why he's pushing it a little bit. He's putting personal best over and over as he's winning.
I mean, what Bettini needs to do now is exactly the opposite of Dentella. If Dentella pits now, Bettini has to try and stretch as long as possible. But you really need to be up to the task because this is no easy track. As Horst still in the pit lane, the minute mark coming up right now. No obstructions for him.
Tony is 2 positions behind, so Gutierrez will have to pass Horst, and if he does, that means there's still 33 seconds behind.
That would be bad for Horst because Gutierrez is set to come into the pit again. Gutierrez does pass Horst, and Horst comes out of the pit lane just as we speak, so that's maybe not so bad for Talvice, who is yet to go around the last complex.
Horst is out.
Your Horst is out. They gain a lot of seconds.
17 seconds? How is that even possible?
Because of some mistakes. Sorry, some damages.
Oh yeah, he fixed damage.
He fixed damage, so 15 seconds worth of damage fixing.
Maybe you should have not done that. 17 seconds.
I mean,
yeah, but I would say that it was just 10 seconds because Tony had already a gap about 5 seconds from Horst.
But you
so
Horst
brought.
Yeah, sorry, cut you off, God. I was just trying to say that you're forgetting that Tony Talviti isn't fighting for the lead. He's looking as much points as he can get away from Gutierrez, because if he just keeps focusing on Horst and Jones, it's not Brown. It's not the ideal way to go with this. So he needs to actually maximize the points if he wants to have a shot at the championship. But I don't know. Maybe He could
The
get
only,
those seconds back.
the only thing I'm thinking is that these two early pits are playing the part for Joe Brown right now.
Yeah, Joe Brown will have to try and stretch it as much as he can because he's now battling Horst directly. Although you have to, get the picture that one small mistake and all your strategy will go,
Down the drain.
it's going to be useless. So it's a matter of many factors. You cannot just stay on the track and buzz around. You have to actually get on it and stay on it for as much as possible, while the others deal with damage and mistakes that they did earlier. I mean, there's no way twisting reality. So if you made a mistake in lap 2, you're gonna pay for it, even if it's lap 35. Uh, at the end of the day, on a track like this, where staying on the road counts the most, you pay for every mistake. There's no room for
Yeah,
any errors. So
definitely no.
we are watching it right now with the driver of Gutierrez's caliber. With a small touch, he probably, jinxed himself for today because he is P5 right now, but he has to pit a second time, and that is if he does not make the same mistake again. So it's a tough business. I'll tell you that.
Well, but something, though, Lorenzo, that always gets me every time we're together is when you say many. Always 50 Cent song kicks man up that goes many, man. You know that song? Always like I want to hear it the way whenever you say it. So great song, by the way. I don't know if you heard it. You should check it out.
Shout out to 50 Cent.
Oh hell yeah, living legend as we see right now. The battle's still not over. Far from over, actually. 47 minutes. This race is getting longer, actually. It's not getting shorter because we still got Tony. Still got to figure out what's going on. He lost 2 seconds to Horst because when he went out, he was 14. Maybe the tire warming up cost him a little bit. So fixing damage maybe didn't as much effect, if you want to call it. So I don't know. I still disagree with the part of fixing damage. Maybe he should have just
We
ignored it.
need to wait. I think we need to wait for the top 3 to pit because from the top 5, the only guys that did take the mandatory pit stop are Talvitia and Horst. Because Gutierrez is now P5, but he had pitted earlier for damage. Same goes for Ed Jones. And so Dentella, Bettini, and Brown are yet to pit, and we have to see how much time they lose or gain by staying out on the track. Or I would suggest, I would suppose they're going to pit in about 2 minutes. This lap or the next one at latest, because we're now closing. We're barely 1 minute away from halfway. So I would suggest now is the time to make your mandatory pit stop, especially if you're in Dentella's place.
Well, there's 2 things. Either Matt Horst is doing a hell of a good job keeping Tony
At Jones pits, I'm calling it. I'm calling it, guys.
Yeah, I mean, you're calling the shot this time, Lorenzo.
This will release Johnny Gutierrez into 4th place.
So technically, Ed Jones doesn't belong in this fight. So Gutierrez, there you go, goes ahead, past him, right? But Gutierrez hasn't pitted. Keep that in mind. So
Yeah, Gutierrez only has a theoretical P4 because he's probably gonna need a splash and dash at the end.
But I believe he's trying as I think Matt Horst will pass Ed Jones right now. I think that's going to happen. There you go. As Tony Talviti will do so in 13 seconds. Actually, those seconds are getting, yeah, because it's getting closer to Ed Jones. I thought he was getting closer to Matt Horst. Now, after he does that, it's going to put him up in P6. So far, he didn't recover his position, I believe. Yeah, because Gutierrez hasn't pitted. So he is actually in his position. I'm canceling everything I'm saying at the same time. Kind of weird. As he goes, he's running. Actually, I want to mention this. His first sector is almost actually slower than Horst. So I think Horst is just doing a hell of a good job.
Yeah, kudos to him. I mean, the car was working incredibly good in the first stint, and as we take a look at the calendar right now, Maastricht being the race that we are watching right now, 16th of October, of course. In 2 weeks' time, we go to Marina Bay, the amazing Singapore street circuit, yet another street circuit, but quite different than Maastricht, I would say, on the 30th of October.
I just like how it slowly fades in, and you got Monza, Lorenzo.
Yeah, we have Monza, one of my favorite tracks, for round 5, and then we go back to the US. Final 2 rounds as Stefan Wenham comes into the pit lane from P9. Monza is one of my favorite tracks for very specific reasons. I live less than 100 kilometers away from it, so it's very easy for me to reach. And I also watched my first ever F1 race there back in 2017, so it's a pretty special place.
It's basically a hometown track.
Yeah, pretty much. Although I'm closer to Imola right now than to Monza.
You gotta pick one though, Lorenzo.
I have been to Imola 3 times this year, so
Ooh.
I will probably be back for the Ferrari Finali Mondiali in 2 weeks' time. I still have to decide if I want to go there, though.
I mean, having
It depends on the weather. I went there for F1 and it was raining all day, so not the ideal weather, but
it's part of the journey.
No, it was great fun. I was at Tamburello on the right, on the first braking area after the start, and yeah, it was an absolute blast. Great experience.
You know, that actually makes me think of, will we ever see open wheel cars in SimRacingOnline?
I was actually wondering that too. I would love to see an IndyCar series.
Oh yeah, me too.
But
yeah, they had one. They had one on Automobilista 2 with the 90s Indy cars.
They have the 1990s car series. As look at that, guys. Dentella, our race leader, into the pits. That releases Bettini into the first place. Of course, theoretically. Dentella then into the pit lane with a very quick pit stop. I must say, 13 seconds to get to the pit stall. Look at the Ferrari here.
Well,
when I'm still in the pits after 1 minute and 45 seconds, that's a long stop.
This is where what you said, Lorenzo. We'll see if it's gonna work for Bettini or not, because you said he has to do the opposite of what Dentella does. So technically,
Bettini. The logical move would be to stretch for at least one lap.
Yeah, but sorry to interrupt you, Roy, but we saw that the undercut is pretty effective on these cars, so I don't really know.
It is effective, but I don't know. We have a penalty now for Stefan Wenham for speeding into the pit lane. It's so easy to do with these cars. As Bettini is not doing a great job at fixing the strategy because he was sliding off. He just kept it outside of the wall right there. But Bettini will surely be losing out to Dentella, I think, after that mistake.
I think the pit stop can play a big role in probably getting you a position or eventually makes you lose it more. So maybe this could be good for Bettini if he stays out. As Wenham gets a penalty. See that in the overlay. I think the drivers are getting more accustomed to the track now and they know that this is where I don't play around, so I don't collect the wall. And this is where I can go a little bit more crazy to get some time. So maybe they all settle in, which is why we see Gutierrez right now in the pit. Actually, that has nothing to do with Gutierrez pitting, but I had to mention that because that's going to play a big role because all those positions he gained, he will eventually lose. And I believe all the way down to Talviti. And then his battle, I think, eventually will be between either Jones or Barrett Erickson. We'll have to wait.
Yeah, I think the critical person at the moment is Joe Brown because he's one of the guys that was battling directly with Horst and Talvice, and he's yet to make his pit stop. Whereas Horst and Talvice did pit already. There we see Tony in the background. passing by. Just a splash and dash for Gutierrez as I expected, so that's not gonna work out badly. But no question about it, he's not going for the win as usual. He has shortened the distance between himself and Tony, though. That tells you a story about Tony's race.
For sure.
Because Gutierrez has had a torrid race from the start, but Talvice, with a great start and an astounding pace, has not been able to catch Horst, and Gutierrez is right behind him. This is a direct fight now. And as Brown goes into the pit with 38 minutes left.
It's getting spicy.
It's getting really interesting because now I think we're going to see Gutierrez trying his best to cut down those 10 seconds that he has between himself and Talvice. So I wonder if that's going to work out because that's critical for the championship. Johnny Gutierrez, of course, leader of the standings. Oh, and what? I cannot believe this, guys.
What just happened?
Oh, Tony DNF.
Oh my god. No way.
I cannot
Are you
believe this.
serious right now?
I cannot believe this. This is the 4th time in a row that Tony has had a
How?
sudden DNF in the
How?
race.
I think it's the 4th in a row, Laura. It's the second
Yes.
because
Yes, it is
the first race he got the win, and the second he wasn't even there. So and he got the retire.
Yeah, but that's gonna be the third 0 in the scoring. You know,
yeah.
that's gonna be the third non-scoring position for Tony Talvice. That's a
Yeah,
major. That's probably the final blow to Tony's hopes for
On
the
the
championship.
championship,
Because that's gonna be tricky to recover now. I mean, we have four races left after this one, but it's a big gap now.
I don't know how he's gonna recover from that.
And I also think that Dentella is gonna have a huge advantage on Bettini because Bettini only has 40 seconds, I think, on Dentella. Not sure about that because the overlay is behaving kind of weirdly. There we have a refresh. Bettini in the pits as we speak. This is critical for the race lead, guys. He had about 65 seconds of gap.
Now, you think in out did good, Renzo?
I don't think he has enough to protect himself from Matteo Dentella. I think Dentella is gonna retain the lead, but yeah, Dentella is in the last sector right now. Unless Bettini has a very quick pit stop, I don't think he has enough time.
He's still in. He's about 30 seconds and it's going down.
Yeah, it's going down quickly. It's rocketing down, I would say, the gap.
T minus.
Dentella in the last corner, as we know. Yeah, he's in the last complex.
He has to get out.
Lose a bit of time because he had Gil da Silva in front of him, but that's no issue.
Yeah, it's over. Now, he's getting out.
It might be close.
Yeah, but
Dentella crosses the line right now.
He's just gonna pass him. Now you see him. Oh,
yeah,
it's gonna be
does Bettini. I think. Oh well. Bettini did a good job because he actually limited the damage of the undercut.
So, but the undercut is strong, though. But actually,
it is strong. But Bettini did very well to protect himself from the undercut itself. Although Dentella has new soft tires on the Ferrari, so that's gonna be the game changer, I think.
But however, I think Bettini made up a second actually. So
yeah, Bettini did shorten the distance. He's now 4 seconds behind Dentella. He was about 5.8 seconds when he came in. When Dentella came in, sorry. But Dentella is gaining a big time now. I still can't get my hand around the fact that Tony is DNF once
Yeah,
again.
that's just very sad to hear, man. It's upsetting to me. Can you imagine to him as
I
well?
mean, can you imagine what battle we would have got with Gutierrez and Talvicia in P6?
Yeah, that would have been something. So this gives the edge to Gutierrez. So I mean, but it still it just doesn't. I mean, it's fair, but it just doesn't feel like it because Tony Talvici just didn't. I mean, you always want to go out with while putting a fight. You can't just leave like that. It just makes it empty, meaningless.
Yeah, but also we were lining up for a great battle, for a potentially incredible, intense fight between him and Gutierrez, the two championship fighters. Uh, well, no more, I should say, but
Yeah.
that because the competitor is now going to become Dentella, as a matter of fact. The fact that Dentella is first and Bettini is second, and the fact that we have two drivers that are not directly in the fight, being Brown and Horst, covering the third and fourth place, it's actually bad for Gutierrez. Because
Yeah.
Dentella is going to gain a big chunk of points on Gutierrez.
Well, race is not over. Still half an hour to go. Dentella is still 5 seconds.
Yeah,
Almost
but
6 seconds.
considering how the first hour of racing went, Dentella was the absolute dominator from start to the pit stop. So I don't see Dentella making a mistake, to be honest.
I don't want to see him make a mistake, but hey, it doesn't have to be a mistake. Maybe it could just, I mean, maybe Bettini could just unlock new powers, I guess, and just start using tires he has and get closer and closer. I mean, he stays within a pace and gets a little bit up and down, and he stays within there. I think he needs to do just a little bit more, and he'll start actually gaining on Dentella because Dentella now is just
Unless guys, the curse of the ETA commentator of the ETA broadcasters strikes again against the poor Matteo. Hope not, but there's always this possibility. Don't forget about that.
I don't think that's a possibility. That's actually reality.
That's actually happened quite a few times, and
Yeah.
I remember one time in Austria, we were broadcasting the IMSA DPI versus GT3 series, and I think it was John Villegas leading the race at one point, and we were giving kudos to him about the driving, and then in the space of 3 corners, he lost it and shunted into the wall and ended this championship up.
Guys, I remember the GT1 series at Spa. Then we saw, with these cars, Oruj can be tricky, and Oruj made like 6 or 7 victims, probably.
Yes, and every time we were switching on an onboard, the guy we were watching would spin out and crash. I remember we were watching the blue Corvette. I think it was Rob Milliken. And we were saying, look at how close he is to the car in front. Oh no! And then we started shouting because he had lost it. So that was quite a fun race. Not for Rob, I'm pretty sure, but for us it was great fun.
So this is a direct message for Matteo Dentella. So Matteo, if anything happens from now till the end and you lose this race, you can get the full blame on us.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's flying right now. Look at that times.
He's now 0.369 down in the second sector. Bettini and Dentella are on a different kind of pace today.
They are. I mean, look, it's purple now. It's going Thanos mode. Look at him. Already going fastest sector. So he's actually, that's the fastest lap of the
Dentella
race.
with the fastest lap, 238.1. That's better than most of the people's lap in qualifying, actually.
Lorenzo, did you see that? He lost his fastest sector too. Somebody just took that.
That's Bettini. I think that's Bettini.
Ooh, I sure damn hope so. Because he's always sticking within 5.7, so he's also putting the same effort, the same pace he's running, but when it's so close like that, the level, it's just too hard. So what are you just sticking there and waiting?
And it's also great to see that these drivers are matching lap times. on two very different cars.
Goes to show you that both guys' skill level is very, very high.
Yeah, and of course, you have to imagine that this is a 2 minute and 38 seconds track. I mean, if you scale that down to a shorter track, I would say a track like Barcelona, maybe like a 2 minute track. The difference would be under probably under 20 milliseconds between one another. It would be so close.
It
So it's
is.
great to see this level of competition. It really tells you something about the spirit that we have here at Sim Racing Online. I mean, guys, please, if you want to have some great racing, some good races, be sure to check simracingonline.co.uk because you are witnessing some great drives, some majestic drives, I should say, on tracks that do not permit you any kind of mistake.
Absolutely, and we have to remember that R Factor 2 is not the only sim racing platform where SRO is making series. We also have ACC and Automobilista 2 and Project Cars 2. So just choose the best for you and sign up.
Yeah, it's fun. It's great. It's a great community, very united people, very kind, very funny and easygoing. Join us.
I mean, if you think about it, Lorenzo, I mean, I remember when I was looking for a league, it wasn't that easy to be honest. And even if I see a league, it's always so hard to get around, get signed up. You have to actually.
Yeah, most of the leagues, especially in R Factor 2, tend to be overcomplicated with sign up procedures and everything. Sim Racing Online is probably one of the. I think it's the only league and series and or forum or community, whatever you want to call it, that really has a place for everybody, and where everyone, regardless of skill level and equipment and whatever, you can actually make a show for yourself and get to know people that are on the same boat with you, and just you can try and improve together. That's what we did when we were building our team. So guys, don't miss out on the possibility. You can get to meet great people on the sim racing universe, such as Lorenzo Bettini, who we are watching right now, or Dentella, Tony, John Vitigas, who is very easygoing, Gil da Silva, who is one of the funniest guys I've heard been around with his colorful liveries. So,
guys, just to make you understand, when I was making the championship with DPIs, I had a good race in Barcelona against Vitigas. We were matching our times. At the end of the race, there was some rain, and I had a problem, and I crashed. And after, like 5 minutes after the race, John wrote to me and sent me a setup and told me, "Yeah, try this for the next race. So hopefully we can be on the same race pace and have some fun." So just to make you understand, guys, how this community works, it's amazing.
Now, some people actually might hear that and be, "Oh, but what is the competitive part? We want to be competitive." Yes, you want to be competitive. That's great. But this is a community when they're not racing for any prizes or anything. I mean, they do. I remember they did the money jars. They call them races. Where that'll, if you go and share your setup, obviously it's not the ideal thing to do. But when there's a race and there's a championship going on, there's you gotta help out, and even if you don't, at least you see the community. I mean, I believe the people around you makes who you are, and this community as a whole is just a wholesome people who just want to have fun, and if they see you struggle, they want to help out with any way possible. I mean, sometimes they might not give you everything if you're fighting against them for a championship, but when it's over, everything gets revealed, and hey, you could make friends too. Now, we're saying
Well,
good. Yeah, go ahead, Rico.
sorry, I was saying that most important thing is if there are like 10 people driving 1 second, everyone from a difference between 1 second to everyone as a race pace, there's no fun in that. If you have like 10 people with the same lap times, that's gonna be fine because it's a 10 cars battle. That's what John said to us that they are aiming for, to have the most complete pack, a very close pack. Obviously, you can't. Otherwise, everybody should be a pro. But oh, Gutierrez was into the walls.
I believe so.
Not
Yeah.
sure. He's on a good time right now. He did a personal best in the first sector. He's going very slowly though. I was about to say that Joe Brown and Matt Horst are making a
Oh,
show for themselves.
problems for Johnny Gutierrez.
I think that hit might have did something.
Oh, he's
That was a big hit.
17 seconds lower. I think he does have damage.
Yeah, or maybe the damage is
Yeah, look at that. The car seems not
Oh,
absolutely not fast.
if he pits, he will be safe, but I'm not sure about the damage. How much time it's gonna take to fix? Please don't get
Oh,
through the
look at
wall again.
that.
Oh
No,
Lord
the car's
Almighty,
completely destroyed right now.
that is
I
not normally.
I
mean,
think
he's
that
close to the pit lane.
is, I don't know if it's horse
Oh, Ital VT
for
is
the
the one
title.
fighting. Ital VT is the one fighting for the
Yeah,
championship.
Tony and Dentella are the one benefiting from this the most.
Yeah, but then tell him missed the first two races, so I don't know how much of a. So we got the news that with this position, Horst can get the first place on the championship.
I believe if he DNF and doesn't score points, because Matt Horse is 22 points behind Gutierrez. So if Gutierrez DNF'd, which we do not hope, if he does,
I don't see Gutierrez pulling out of the race. I
well, he
think.
doesn't have to. He just have
No,
to not
it's
score
probably
points.
not gonna, but I think that he's going to get. He has to climb back again because I think
Well,
this is going to be a long stop. Because he had a hell of damage.
Yeah, but he was safe because Ericsson is 95 seconds behind him. I think he's just gonna have enough time to probably gain P6 or P7 in worst case scenario.
well, if you win, you get 25 points. So I don't know. Matt Horse is not going to win. So if he finishes right now, P4, that's about 12 points. So it's definitely not going to put him, I believe, in the lead. I think we were wrong. It's just going to put him way closer because he's 22 points behind
Yeah,
Gutierrez.
still
Even if,
that's a step. That's a step you need to take towards Gutierrez to try and gain, points in the championship, and also to increase the pressure because this is a street circuit. If Gutierrez does not feel good with the car on a street circuit, guess what the next track is?
oh my God.
It's a straight circuit again. So exerting pressure is surely what Matt Horst has to do now, as we have many people pitting. Venom from P12, the Silver from P9,
Yeah, looks like it's
and of course Gutierrez with a long stop from P6.
I think this is, I thought about it and I believe this is good for Matt Horst because it's going to make him push to do even more and get even better because if he knows he's actually fighting for the title, he has to put even more effort. So that's good for Horst because
Tony
And
Gutierrez did lose
Ericsson got the
P6.
position.
Ericsson is P6 is in front of Gutierrez now, but I
Yeah,
think
but
Gutierrez is going to have a
Gutierrez
huge
is out.
pace
Yeah,
differential.
absolutely. Well, guys, we told you before the race, didn't we, that this truck didn't forgive anything, and Gutierrez is the living proof of that.
well, I believe that this race had its toll and it was definitely not what we expected, did we? It was even better. So I'm trying to say that this race, well, looks like Matt Horst is gaining 3 seconds on Joe Brown, so that's gonna put him. I mean, he's
I don't know, 20 minutes. I don't think he's going to be able
Well,
to
he's only
catch him.
32 seconds though, Ricardo, so he might get a chance. We just crossed the 20-minute mark. Matt Horst putting best personal sector and missing a second one.
A solid pace though by Horst.
Indeed.
It's not easy to get a personal best when you have a car in front of you. So it's a great show by Matt today. Really great. I'm really satisfied with his performance.
Definitely doing a great job. Can't take that away from the man. Well, I'm saddened that we didn't get to see Tony fight. This is not out of the championship. I mean, hypothetically speaking, he still has a chance if something happens in the way. So, I mean, I want to see him again in the next race. And yes, I know it's going to be
Yeah,
second
but
place.
the thing is that Tony seems to be cursed. Because yeah, he had a lot of troubles with the GT1 championship, and now he's having a lot of troubles with the GTEs.
Maybe he just needed better pedals. Maybe his connection needs fixing. Can he fix it in time? We don't know.
Well, we
Oh,
know a guy. We know a guy who has connection problems all the time. That's Valentin Talbot. Shout out to
oh,
Valentin.
the man. I think he. I think whenever he gets like rich, first thing he's gonna do is he's gonna sue his internet company. It's probably the first thing he's gonna do.
So I was just checking the leaderboards, guys, and I noticed that both Dentella and Bettini have been lapping for the last 5 laps. All the times that they set were between 2 minutes 38.0 and 2 minutes 38.3. So they are matching on an infernal pace right now, as Bettini has gained a lot of time there because Dentella was stuck behind one of the slow Porsches. I think that's I'm not sure who
Milliken
that is.
probably.
That's Milliken, maybe, yes.
Yeah, it's
It's gonna
impossible
be the
to
same for
confuse him with
Bettini, I
his
think.
green Porsche.
Bettini should be using his headlights if he wants to pass quickly, because that's a great chance for him. Look at Dentella, just barely 3.5 seconds now in front of Bettini. Bettini needs to use these chances to get closer if he wants to challenge for the lead. Oh, as we get a DNF for Michael Labelle, sadly.
That you don't want to see, and we just saw. He was getting a lot of penalties, so
I want to be honest, guys. I was expecting more DNF by this circuit.
I mean we got
Yeah,
two so far.
Detroit was definitely worse in terms of taking a toll on the drivers. I tell you what, though, Rob Milliken is not making plays for Bettini whatsoever. Oh, there you go. I think he heard me.
We lost a second there.
Yeah, but he lost 1 second, but gained 2. So
It's like he didn't lose anything.
yeah, absolutely. He gained 3 seconds and lost 1, so makes 2. Makes 2.
That's some very unsuccessful trading business you can do. Because we see now Lorenzo Bettini, he has 50, I think they're just too equal, and there's nothing they can do. They're stuck in this hole or this realm of 3.8, 3.7. I've been seeing this a long time ago, and it's been that way since they got out of the pit. I believe these guys. Oh my God!
Bettini with a slight contact with the wall there. He needs to be careful. He gained a lot of time, though. Gained a lot of time on Dentella. What happened to Dentella? He lost 1 second in the space of 3 corners.
I think he carried a lot of speed.
He keeps losing. Look at that.
No.
Yeah,
I
although
think
Bettini did complicate stuff for himself there because he hit the wall a second time.
let me.
But Dentella lost like 1.3 seconds, and he keeps losing.
I think, guys, if I can say this, I think he carried a lot of speed in that corner, hit the wall, and gained time. I believe that's the case. I don't think I don't think Dentella made a mistake. It's just
Wall riding, or Bettini was wall riding. I
don't
don't
even
know.
dare say that.
No,
You're getting
I wouldn't there. I wouldn't there.
yeah, you're getting timeout, Ricardo.
Anyway, it seems that right now Hurst has stopped gaining on Brown, because it seems to be stuck on 30 seconds away.
Yeah, 30 seconds is still a great amount to gain in the space of
27
7 laps.
right now. Yeah.
So,
Well, Joe Brown did a good job taking that position back because their fight was going on, and Brown is now winning it so far. So he's in the podium.
Well,
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
free.
Nas, we've been talking about Joe the past race, if you remember. We said that he was improving and putting himself and showing us himself to be able to be one of the top drivers, and he's keeping that promise up because he's making an amazing race.
Yeah, and he, of course, if you guys did miss the start, just rewind it for a bit because Joe Brown was probably the fastest guy off the line, and he was able to get the jump done on a horse in the very first corner of the race. So that takes some guts, considering that this is the first time that these drivers tackled this Maastricht street circuit, and to make a move in the first ever corner, that's quite bold.
And most important, Lauren, he was able to he was able to keep how can I say, to resist to the pressure of Hurst through all the first stint. He made an amazing job under pressure. Oh, Dentella still. It seems like he's going to hit the that wall, one second or another.
I think he has to do it again. Just let the car sell. Hopefully, he just doesn't. Hopefully, he doesn't like kill his car or destroy it. But he just maybe do it again. It's 2.3 seconds. So look at him. I think
Yeah,
he's
Dentella's gains a lot on the last sector. Wow.
Oh. But you gotta keep in mind, guys. Even if he gets close, he still has to make the pass.
Yeah, but look at the speed of the Ferrari. Look how much Dentella's gaining on the straight.
Porsche is looking pretty good though in the corners.
Yeah, and the braking too.
Look at that. Look at the gap spreading on the straight. Look.
Look at
he got almost 2 tenths, maybe 3. Yeah, 3 tenths. Just on the straight, 4.
Yeah, you're right.
Ferrari is very quick
Right.
indeed on a straight line.
I was paying attention with Ricardo there. He actually Ferrari. It could be like the damage that Bettini collected, maybe.
That maybe is Dentella just taking his time and
that
nursing the tires in the last couple laps to just keep some energy for the last ones.
Wow. I mean, being this close and you got 10 minutes must be frustrating.
Yeah, especially because you are pushing, you're pushing hard. You're on your limit and you're doing your best times. You don't see that gap closing.
Because they're on the same level. It's like running two AIs with the same. I mean, they're not AIs; they're human beings, but they're still. When you're driving, you almost act like an AI because you're doing the same lap over and over and over. Almost very close. Something even probably the machine can't do. Maybe it can. I don't know. But that's not the point. The point I was trying to make is that Lorenzo Bettini is actually now gained back time to 2.8, and he's doing this. He's actually in the same level of Intella, and it's not. What are you gonna do? I mean, unless wait for somebody else misfortune and take advantage of that. as we just crossed the 10-minute mark. Looks like this is probably the battle that's going on so far. The field is spread up pretty much. The closest we have is Barrett Erickson, 14 seconds, close to Gutierrez, and all the way down to Stefan Wenham, the guy who is the last guy, P11, because we lost Labelle, Talviti, and also 95 seconds behind the Silva, whom he's 100 and almost 2 minutes behind. So you can see that the field is very, very spread out. And I believe that's due to so many pit stops and penalties and damage fixing and so much drama going on in the race. But the closest battle we have in
even because the track is very long, so if on a normal track you're like 3/10 or half a seconds lower, on a track this long you start to be like 1.5, 3 seconds lower per lap, and the field spreads naturally. So
Indeed.
And just to make sure that everyone remembers it, Thomas Holsel was the first casualty of today's race, and he DNF'd in the second lap after a vicious crash in the very corner that we are watching right now. He touched the wall on the inside before the right-hander kink, a high-speed corner, and of course he had to counter-steer the car, but couldn't do it and just shunted into the wall, and he actually ended up outside of the racetrack.
You can say, Lord, that Holsel DNF'd with style, because he made a huge crash right there.
Yeah.
That is true.
Seven minutes left then. Dentella still leading from Lorenzo Bettini. Joe Brown in third place.
7 minutes 40.
Matt Force in fourth with about 24 seconds of distance.
Could be around 4 laps of distance, probably.
Yeah, that's probably not. That's probably 3 laps. Considering that it's a 2 minute 38 something.
Yeah, well, considering more even this one, so it could be 4 laps because Dentella is still on this lap. So
yeah, that's probably true.
Wow, race is going very, very, very directions I didn't see coming. But Lorenzo Bettini, it's just I can't stop watching it. I wish that gap can go down and we see fight, but I don't think we're gonna see that.
I mean, all it takes is a small mistake from Dentella, so
yeah,
it's not over yet.
I mean, one thing is all it takes.
One thing is all it takes.
You have
only low. Yeah. I blame it. I blame myself for that.
Oh, you can blame me. It's okay. Yeah, but yeah, it's I think, but this should gives Bettini a boost mentally, that knows that he got the pace to be the teller, but maybe sometimes track position matters.
No, because
yes, I mean, have you ever seen these two drivers at this level with 2 different cars just keeping the gap, stable around 3 seconds for the entirety of the race?
That takes a lot of skill and level and consistency.
And more importantly, Nas, have you ever seen the raid?
I actually did not.
And most important, have you ever seen the rain? Have
Yes,
you
seen ever going
rain?
I don't
Okay,
think it's ever gonna end. You just have to be careful or not.
I mean, we did see the rain in Pittsburgh in the first race.
Speaking of the rain, we didn't see it since Pittsburgh, and because now there is a system that you vote, and everyone votes. I mean, the drivers, and whatever gets the most votes is done. And so far, the dry has been the winning option. I'm not sure.
I mean, you see this truck. You wanted to do this truck on the wet.
Well,
oh my God, you're a sadistic man, Nas.
No, I have a solution though. I mean, have you ever seen Crash Gear? It's a cartoon where they have little wheels to their bumpers, one to the left, one to the right, and you can pretty much just wall ride.
Oh, we had a cartoon like that in Italy. It was called
It's the
Let's and
same.
Go. It's actually
Yeah,
Japanese.
Yeah, the Let's
yeah,
and Go.
that's the one. That's the one. So I mean, there you go. You get yourself a beautiful Hot
There
Wheel.
was even the cartoon with the Let's and Goes, wasn't
Yeah,
there?
Yeah,
I
it does.
mean,
Yes, that's what I'm talking about, Ricardo.
that was at the beginning of the 2000s. Even in the
yeah.
90s, they used to have that.
I'm surprised they don't have like real life big cars that do that.
Now you do have one. You do have scale models of those cars made by Tamiya, as a matter of fact.
I don't know
They're
who that
called
is.
Mini 4WD from Tamiya. Check them out. They're pretty expensive, but they're so much fun. I do have a few myself.
That show or cartoon taught me that wall riding is the most godly
Yeah, because
thing.
they had wheels like
If you're on Gran Turismo, that could be right, but
well, depends.
Yeah, we would Lorenzo because there is a system now to do that. Well,
No, if in Gran Turismo 4, which is the Gran Turismo that I grinded on hard, um, you would get 5 second penalty if you touch the wall. So
yeah, back when Gran
yeah,
Turismo.
but just on the licenses, if I remember well, on in the races, you could have done wall riding pretty
I
much
think you can turn
everywhere.
it off. You can turn it off,
guys,
Ricardo.
sorry to interrupt you, but Dentella is approaching a slower car.
Ooh,
Dentella is
now
approaching a slower car. It needs to dispatch that car as quick as possible because we have one lap left after this one.
there's actually
Literally,
approaching two cars, Lorenzo. It's number nine
yeah.
and number seven.
That's it's now or never.
I said number nine, and it hits me. I can't. But yeah, speaking of serious stuff, this is
I
actually
have two
good.
number 45s now.
I think I gotta keep a straight face to say that, but I think Dentella needs to be quick in doing the dispatching. Favorite
Yeah,
Lorenzo
there
way.
we go.
Yeah.
Yep,
Um,
He
on the
just got the
straight.
pass
So.
on the Ferrari with extra dip, and he's now going for the number 6.
yeah.
Uh,
I can't, man. Because he's actually going for number six. He's going for number 7. Oh, look at that!
what happened? What happened?
I
What
think
happened to
that's
the
the
silver?
Silva. I think that's the
I,
Silva.
I think he forgot the soda,
Yeah,
the large soda.
yeah, I did like it probably. Oh my god!
Oh man.
But it's just it's lighting up. It's lighting up. I believe this is he has 1 minute the Bettini to get to do something, but I think it's pretty much over.
It depends. I mean, Bettini can still see Dentella in the back of his. In the background,
In the back of his
or
what?
the other way around. I should say.
No,
Dentella
no,
can
I want
still
to
see
know.
Bettini in the background.
But I still want to know the back of his what? Back of his head?
Well, I hope so.
Looking for what to
I mean,
haul it
Bettini
in?
will have his work cut out because he is now approaching what I believe to be Ericsson.
Doing a good job at
Yeah,
it. He's in the points. He is. 7.
He's in P7, yes.
Good to see him in the points, Ericsson.
So last lap, guys. Dentella still leading by 3.3 seconds. Bettini is overtaking Ericsson now as Dentella goes into turn 1 for the last time.
So
There
it's
you see
now or
Bettini.
never.
Bettini is throwing everything
guys.
at Dentella.
Sorry, but sorry, maybe I lost that and you don't, but we lost the Gutierrez overtake on Barrett Erickson because he came out of the pits behind him.
I think so, yes. Gutierrez made the move stick about 3 laps from the pit lane entrance that he did. So
Yeah, we are. Yeah, because we are having some troubles with the layout. You look at that. It keeps. It doesn't tell you the gaps with that Gutierrez have on the left. Oh, okay, perfect.
there we go then. Last
Yep.
chance for Bettini to make something about do something about Dentella. It doesn't look like he's gonna be able to do that because Dentella has been spot
Come
on
on,
all race
Renzo.
long.
Come on, Renzo. Cut the truck somewhere and give us the last fight on the last part of the truck.
I don't think he has enough corners to do that. I mean, he has to make something literally out of nothing. It's 3.5, and it's been like that for so many times, so much.
Checker flag is in the air as we speak.
Yeah, it's clear win probably for Dentella if it stays like this. Believe it will. I mean, when racing, always look out for the odds, not for the facts, because the facts are always facts; they don't change. But the odds, they do. And the odds now for Matella, what did I say? Matteo Dentella. He's Italian, right? That's an Italian.
Yeah, that's the right pronunciation.
Yeah, I should be.
Yes, thank you. And I believe if the
So,
odds.
sorry to interrupt you, Mas, but I'm happy because Laura, we are having Italian one too in Maastricht. To be
Yeah,
honest,
that's
the
true.
Italian Bettini.
That's a win for
And
Italy.
that's a Ferrari winning in Holland, by the way. Shout out to F1.
Indeed.
Dentella then coming around for the last time in the final corner with a great performance, commanding lead from start to finish. Dentella wins the Maastricht GP, and what a great performance. Bettini comes home with a second place, and deservedly so after the great fight he put on in the first round. Italia 1-2, and look at this. The Aston Martin driven by Joe Brown with an astounding performance over Maastricht in the start and in the middle of the strategy as well. He's gonna come home and secure what looks to be a very promising third place. I should probably shut up.
That is still a fight.
I think Joe Brown lost 20 years of his life right there.
Wait, guys, it's not over because he still have to. If he has too much damage, he still have a whole sector to do.
Yeah, he's lining up the last few corners right now. He's in the last section now.
Didier Coelho is about to get to cross the finish line. Barry Ericsson did so, but we still have so many cars behind, including Brown, Horst, Ed Jones, Gutierrez, who is also still in Sector 2. This is actually a long track, as we see Joe Brown about to secure his podium that he could have did in Mid-Ohio, but it's okay because he did it now. He got his podium, Joe Brown. He's always to be a green. Is that green? Yeah, it is gray and green. It is actually green. Actually, this is the first time I look at it so close. It's dark green with the green stripes. Beautiful performance. Beautiful livery by Joe Brown. Doing such a great job today. As number 4, Matt Horst crosses again in P4. Ed Jones as well is about to cross the start-finish line. I believe followed by Didier Coelho, and I believe that's someone at the point. Yeah, Stefan Wenham. They will both cross the finish line right now. I believe the last man to cross the finish line is Gutierrez, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he did not cross it yet. Everyone finished it and Bettini and Dentella decided.
With the championship point, with the position 6 from Gutierrez, I don't think that Matt Horst had take the lead. Did he?
I think he did. I'm not sure about that. Well, nonetheless, results of today, we have our winner, Matthew Dentella. A great performance, a great battle. It wasn't a close of a battle. It was a first, but it was just a matter of who gets the better pit stop. And it looks like Matthew Dentella got the upper hand of today's race and scored himself a win. It's definitely not going to play a big role in his championship because Tony Talviti, Gutierrez has a lot of points. So, I mean, we still got about 5 more races to go. Tini right behind in P2, absolutely fantastic race. Could have been any better, possibly a win, so it's right there. Looking very good for Bettini. I think he's looking for a win in the next couple of races if he keeps performing as he is right now. And we in the last place of the podium of today, Joe Brown. Beautiful performance, absolutely redemption from his last race where he scored P4 and lost his P3. Today he gets the job done with 34 laps, gets the P3. What a beautiful stuff by Joe Brown. Now we go down the line to the points of the day. Matt Horst in P4. He was having a great battle with Joe Brown, but eventually Joe Brown just got the upper hand. But still, good job by Matt Horst getting P4. Ed Jones in P5 in his Porsche, and Gutierrez as well, who had a terrible race today, I believe. He could have gotten more, still stayed in the points and got himself a chunk of points to stay as much as he can all the way up in the lead. Matt Horst now is ahead of him, so that will get him closer a little bit. He's 22 points behind Gutierrez, so it's gonna give him a little bit. It's gonna give him a boost in the championship and in morals as well. Barry Ericsson always in the points. That's not a bargain. We always know about that. Barry Ericsson, a man to execute, even if he doesn't always gets the better pace of everyone. Always knows how to get himself around the track and score himself great points as he gets a P7 today. P8 by Didier Coelho in his Porsche with 32 laps, right behind Barry Ericsson. Silva with his beautiful livery got some penalties, I believe, or that was the other guy. I think Holsel. Not sure. I don't know. It wasn't even Holsel, probably. But still, P9 de Silva. It's respectable. He gets the points. And the last man to get the points is Rob Milliken. And I believe Stefan Winham is the guy in P11.
Yeah, and we
Indeed.
remember the DNFs
Yes,
with
the DNF.
Michael Labelle, and the circuit of Maastricht is another DNF. So
Yeah,
yeah, we got
three DNFs. It's the
Michael
Talbi.
Labelle, Salvici, and Thomas Holzel.
Indeed, those are the three DNF. We had 14 people driving this race. I think that's the average of what we're seeing so far, 14 to 16. And I think that's a realistic number we're going to see so far. Maybe it could get even better in probably Monza. That's and it's the free one, so you don't need to have the DLC one by Studio 397. All you need is to download it from the website of simracingonline.co.uk, and you can get in. You don't have to buy it; you just have to buy the mod.
I think that if you guys don't have Alpha Factor 2, the only DLC you need is the GTE DLC. So,
indeed, it's surely not that much of money to spend compared, for example, to iRacing, but it's still good sim racing game to get you around and have some fun, especially in simracingonline.co.uk. Yeah, it's an amazing race. I had fun witnessing this piece of today. It's definitely a race that I didn't see this results coming out this way, but you can predict things, but in a race it's very hard to get it always right. You can get positions right, but what happens within, it's always something you cannot pretend, well, unless you can see the future. So what do you guys think about today's race? I think it was great to me, to be honest.
Yeah, I think considering the type of track that we were on, uh, it's been good. It's been not the best, I would say, race of the season, because I think last one in Mid Ohio was a blast. But I'm satisfied with what I saw today. Good driving overall, and some surprises, some great piece of driving. I'm looking forward to the next one.
As I am as well. Well, we just finished Maastricht, a circuit, a track. What's that the word? What do you call a track that is within a city? A city type
Street
base?
circuit.
A street, okay, a street circuit. And Marina Bay is a street circuit type as well. I mean, you pretty much got 90-degree corner, isn't that right, Lorenzo?
That's true. That's
Yeah,
actually
so
true.
it's gonna be probably the same one, but something we're kind of used to. And then we have Monza, Virginia, and Coda, both in US, except Monza in Italy. Very, very soon. I think Monza is in about 4 weeks. And then it is in 4 weeks, actually. And Marina Bay, was it? And that's in 2 weeks. I can't get any names correct today for some reason. But yeah, indeed. I hope you guys enjoyed today's race. I enjoyed it. I mean, we definitely try to entertain you guys. Obviously, if you missed something and you're watching right now, worry not, because all of this will be in simracingonline.co.uk YouTube channel. All the VODs are being stored there. Everything in every stream you can find it there and see it and get a snippet out of whatever seems to be enjoyable for you. Well, I don't think we're gonna get any interviews today, are we, Lorenzo?
I don't think so. We were. Oh, and I want to say hi to Fede in the chat. Thank you for being with us. Just be sure to join simracingonline.co.uk and join eitharacingteam on Discord as well as Instagram if you want. And yeah, great to have you here. And I would like to thank everybody who followed us through this amazing round 4 of the GTE Winter Series. And we will all see you in the next one.
Bye bye, everyone.